Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel, or welcome back if you've been here before. My name is Liz and this is Let's Get Lizical, where we do everything card making. Today we're going to be going a little bit outside my comfort zone and making a card inspired by Edgar Allan Poe's The Raven. And we'll be using the new Honeybee products to help make this happen. So I'm using their paper pack and their crow die. That's as close to a raven as we're going to get. And they're both blackbirds, so I think it works. I think ravens are bigger and their beaks are shaped differently, but that's okay. No one needs to know. But I'm starting off with this like turquoise teal-ish like linen type background. I thought it would be good as like a wallpaper for a wall. What we're gonna do is we're gonna create a door, and then we're gonna put the raven on top of the door because that's where he's, you know, chilling in the poem. So I'm just distressing up the edges a little bit. I'm using Lawn Fawn's dough ink, and then I decided to like splatter a little bit in the background just to give it again a little bit more of a distressed look. And then we're going to mat it on a little bit of black cardstock just to bring that black in a little bit more and separate it from the craft card base that I'll be using. And then we're going to start creating our door pieces once I glue this down. I wish I'd done it slightly differently, but not, you know, too much differently. The way I had planned it, there was like only a tiny bit of a border. I kind of sketched it out on this piece of paper on the left here, but I almost wish I'd like put the door into the very corner of the card. But what I'm gonna do now is I also printed off my sentiment off my computer. I didn't really have anything that went along with this, so I just kind of like typed Nevermore out on multiple fonts and sizes, and then decided to use that as the sentiment. But I'm just creating the door, and then we'll create the door frame with this wood embossing folder I have. I think I got this at Michael's like years ago in like some kind of Christmas set they had. It was like this and like a snowy background, or there was another embossing folder. It was like 2 embossing folders in a package. So I picked it up pretty much because I just wanted the wood grain texture. I love using this die. It does add quite a bit. It's only a 2D embossing folder, but it adds pretty like good texture to it, and it does look like wood. And I'm just going around all of the panels with the same like dough ink just to give it a little bit more depth so it's not so flat. And then we're gonna cut these wood grain panels down afterwards just to create that door frame. For the crow, I'm cutting all of the pieces out in black cardstock. The die itself has a lot of texture into it for the feathers and whatnot. And then I did do a few test runs of this where I tried to do it in darker grays for the body and then just do blacks for the top wing and the bottom layers, but it wasn't good enough for me, so I liked doing it all in black. It does, you know, obviously blend in a bit more, but you see the detail in person for sure. It's a little bit hard to show on camera. And right now I'm just making some mitered corners for my door frame. I just kind of like put them into an L shape and then cut the angle. I actually watched a video the other day for cutting mitered corners with wood. There's a better way to do it. So I might try that next time I do this type of like frame, because it didn't line up perfectly, so I did have to like shift it a little bit. So yeah, I'll try that hack that I saw for making your own frames out of actual wood and try to do that with the paper. But yeah, so I just put them like in the L shape. We're just using like the top corner portion of the door. I'm not creating an entire door. If you were making a larger card, you might be able to do that. But this crow die is fairly large. It does take up quite a, you know, good space on the card base, so it would be difficult to make the full door. And then I'm decided to back this on some black cardstock just so that it was easier for me to cut and then move over to the card itself. And I'm propping up the door frame on some foam tape just to give it a little bit more dimension, and it really does help the card a lot with this dimension, plus the texture of the wood grain and everything. So I like the way that this turned out for sure. And again, it's like very simple to put together. No dies required. It's all just straight paper. You just might either need a wood grain textured stamp or embossing folder like I have, or even just like a wood grain paper, like patterned paper would work. And then you could just ink blend up the edges as well, just to give it a little bit more of a distressed look, or, you know, a little bit more depth. And now I'm assembling the crow. There's 4 pieces to this die. There's the back, and then there's another piece that goes on top of it that covers like most of it except for the tail and one of the legs, and then another piece that just adds texture to the body. But right now I wanted the bird's mouth to be open, so I there's a little embossing line to separate the beak, so I cut along that line, and then I cut a little slit in towards it at the bottom just so that I could angle it, so that it looks like it's, you know, cawing out the word nevermore. And then I'm just gonna also prop this up on some foam tape and add it to the card just so that it's at the same level as the door frame. And then I'm going to do the same thing with the sentiment. I'm just going to pop it up on a little bit of foam tape and then put it on a bit of an angle. I didn't want it to make sure that it was, you know, 100% straight or anything. We're going for a bit more of a messy, distressed look today, so I decided to put it on an angle. And then I use red pearls for the eye, and then I realized that that was, you know, not enough of it, like just to have the one, it was kind of out of place. So I decided to add 3 at the bottom right of the card as well to help balance that out. But yeah, that's pretty much our card for today, guys. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Give this video a like if you liked it. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel or any of my socials, they are all in the description below. And if you hit that notification bell, you won't miss any future content. I'll have another video up on Friday as always. And until then, thanks so much guys for joining me. Bye.